Hello, friends. Let's go to the question of the day. And the question is this: why is knowing how to say no more important than closing more sales? Hello, my friends. I'm Fred. Here we talk about investment, business, real life, and training, all from my personal perspective. And this is really important. I was remembering something about when I was younger. I used to work with producing parts for mechanical industry, and I was about something like 18 years old, and my father, he at that time he participates yet of our small company. It was something our operation was very small. He was about to retire. He was going to live at the beach with my mother, and he left this small company for us, my brother and I, and we were trying to manage it. At that moment, he did not yet move to the beach, but he was coming and going to the beach very often, staying there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, moving furniture, this kind of situation. So they were there, and my brother and I, we were trying to to manage the business, and this this business, this opportunity to do this work happened, and was something like a lot of parts that we have to produce, and we should not buy the materials. The only thing that we're going to do would be to produce the parts. The contractor would supply the would supply us with the materials that we need to produce the parts for them, the small pieces, mechanical pieces that we are going to produce for them, and we would produce. All right. So I closed the deal with them, and it was a Friday. I remember exactly. I was 18 years old, something like that, 18, 19, and it was a Friday, and I closed the deal with them for 80 cents of real here in Brazil. We are in Brazil. 80 cents per each piece, each part that we should produce. And I was very excited about that. It was my first deal that I closed. I was very excited, but I was very young, inexperienced. And my parents, they were about to get back home next day, Saturday. Then they got back, and I talked to my father. Oh, we closed the deal. We did this and this. It's all great. And then, as he was very experienced, very he he knew everything about the business. He told me right away, "Oh, this price that you gave is not good enough. I need to remember you. This year was something like the year 2000, maybe 1999, something like that. So there were no internet, no YouTube channels to check things, how to precificate this kind of situation. At that moment, none of that existed. So he told me this. Oh, no, this price is not good. But leave it to me. I will talk with the guys because in his experience, he knew that those guys were taking advantage of me because I was young and they know better than me and they knew that the price was abusive. So next Monday, I I am watching my father talking to them. Oh, hello, everything's fine about this business that this deal that you closed with my son. This price is not right. This price that he gave you, 80 cents for uh, each piece, we are going to raise it for R$1.80 for each piece. So he was more than doubling the price. And at that moment, I was really scared, amazed of what he was doing, because I was scared that he was going to lose the deal, you know. So I was scared, and then he told them very calmly, "Oh, the price is this, R$1.80." And I was very surprised when they told him yes. You know, they told, "Oh, no problem. Okay, this new price. Okay." So at that moment, I understood how experience matters, man. Really matters, because think about this. I closed the deal with them for less than half the price that my dad gave to them at the next workday. You know, so you need to be able to say no, because you know what the right price is. Another experience. At this moment, I imagine 27, 28 years old. I was already working with construction, building small warehouses here in Brazil for rent and sell. But my specialty is to build them for rent. I was always trying to build a real estate portfolio of small warehouses, because here I believe, I don't know how the market is in the United States, but here I believe that properties, commercial properties, are better for renting than housing, this kind of thing. So I was um, there were these three. Um, it's like a little condominium, three little warehouses all together in one building. And I was about to. They were all of them were rented at that moment, and it appears a buyer trying to buy them. And I established the price, which was 500,000 reais at that moment. And then they offer me 550,000, which means almost the price that I was asking. And I was talking to them, and I was very close to close the deal with them. I was willing to close the deal because the price that they were offering was close to the price that I was asking. And then I almost closed the deal with them, but I knew better at that moment. Now I am 47 years old. At that moment, I was 27, 28, something like that, which means it is almost 20 years ago. And then I told them, no, 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 this price is not good for me. And they were going to pay in cash. But with with I was almost close. I almost closed, but nevertheless, I knew better at that moment, and then I say no for them, to them. And then the warehouses were rented, so no problem. I was working in another construction, building another warehouse, doing my things. Time passed. 2 or 3 years passed, and I don't know if things happen the same way in US, for example, but here in Brazil, and I believe that maybe this is the way that happens in the entire world when it comes to real estate market. It the price increases in steps, in levels, different levels. So for example, at that moment, the right price was 500,000. But that price was at that level for a few years, maybe for 5 years, 6 years. And then suddenly, and you never know when this is going to happen, the price went up. And in a time span of 2 or 3 years, the price double. So the price that were 500,000 went to 1 million reais, something like that, which was which were a lot of money at that moment. And then 3 years later, a new buyer appeared, and at that moment, I established the price again, which was above 1 million reais, and I was able to sell it for that price. So another opportunity for me to learn at that moment, because I was able to sell. Another situation that happened years after this one that I was describing to you. Another situation in another warehouse. I just finished a construction of 2 warehouses, and as soon as I finished the construction, I rented the 2 warehouses. And then 1 month later, a new a buyer appeared. And I wasn't even thinking about selling at that moment. I was just thinking that the warehouses were very good. That was something that I would keep for the rest of my life. This kind of thought. So at that moment, a buyer appeared, and I established the price. And I established the price at 2 million reais at that moment. I remember. And I have spent to build everything 1,200,000, something like this, 200,000. And then the right price was 2 million, or even a little above 2 million. And then the guy who was waiting to buy was a doctor, important guy in the city, a small city that I live here. He offered 1,700,000, something like that, almost the price that I was asking. But the important part is this: I told him no, because I knew at that moment that the right price, the price that I should sell it, was 2 million. And I remember telling them, the real estate people and the possible buyer, I told, oh man, no, I told you the price. I'm only going to sell it for the right price. This is the price. If you don't want it, no problem. I'll keep this real estate because it's very good. The warehouse is very good. I'll keep it for the rest of my life. No problem with that. I build it to keep it, not to sell it. So you understand how important this is. If I was at that moment, even if I have even more experience, if I had even more experience, I could tell him that I was willing to sell for 2,005,000, 500,000, something like that, because then we could negotiate and take a little of the price and close in something like 2,200,000, something like that. But I was surprised that in the next day they called me again, telling me that they were going to give me the 2 million that I asked. So this is how important it is to have the ability to say no. Have the courage to say no because you know what you are doing in your own business. This is how important it is. So I like to give you these three examples, and um, thank you for all you that are watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about this subject. I was filming these videos with a script. Now, because I wasn't confident enough about my English, now I'm trying to do it without a script, and I'm becoming more and more comfortable. So if you want to let me know what you think about this too, because in Portuguese, I always feel very comfortable to speak. In English, not so comfortable as in Portuguese, but I'm trying to do it, and I believe that this is going to be a good strategy for the channel. All right, my friends, thank you all for that are watching. See you in the next video.